but it's just so crazy to even hear that and like have that be a reality. But we'll see where they're gonna go with these picks and bans. We do
instantly we have strategy coming out from Qlash here. Do 2 bans of heroes that no one's ever going to pick so that the power picks are open wide. It means that they can grab themselves like Kensei off the bat. Already, Qlash looks amazing in this draft, and we're 1 pick in.
Yeah, I mean, Kensei can just take over games completely. And this is something where I feel like, you know, if you're a member of Rising Lotus, you have to recognize that and say, okay, if they're throwing away their bans, we should probably leave some of these power picks open for ourselves and not ban them away. But they took away, you know, some of those strong picks that you see teams always prioritizing. And so they end up without getting to match the Kensei. It was so often we see the Kensei getting matched with a kinetic, and it's not going to be able to happen here. So I think this is one of those situations where when you see your opponents going for those kinds of bans, you need to match with something similar so that you can have as much power as possible open to you.
Yeah, it's definitely a strong strategy. I like the Grace Lock in here as well as the Kensei. Just means he's going to have that protection and healing as he dives on into the backline. We'll see if that's going to make a big difference. Against Churnwalker, Arden, and Tony, there's a lot of peel here. This is going to be hard.
A lot of peel and a lot of durability for this Kensei to have to try and work through. And I think the plan for what it looks like to me is that they're going to be hoping that when Kensei dives in, they can use some of this crowd control to keep him in place so that they can then try and burst him down. But the Vox actually goes a little bit against that because Vox actually has to.
Vox. Okay.
I do much prefer Vox in the long run, but like it doesn't work with that whole burst down Kensei immediately because he does have to ramp up himself.
Yeah, he definitely doesn't get to burst Kensei, but I actually prefer going with a bit of a safer carry rather than go all eggs in the Baron basket. Like, do we survive against the Kensei? Because I'm the Doom is going to do work. It's going to be Malene locked in as well as a flicker from the side of Qlash. This is an aggressive composition. They are looking to force team fights and early on.
And not only that, but they're also looking to pick one target and just delete them. And then move on to the next target, rinse and repeat.
Baron
there
and
is
Vox.
going to be the Baron. So this could be a Crystal Vox
CP
coming out.
Vox?
Or
Crystal
CP
Baron. PT Lamb. What? We completely missed it. PT Lamb has been destroying on Crystal Baron. I don't know how I didn't mention this before. Of course it's Crystal Baron. PT Lamb is terrifying on this. We saw it last weekend from Rising Lotus. This has the potential to be an incredible game.
The concern is, will it be able to hold up against the Kensei? But at the same time, the reason why PT Lamb was able to be so strong on this Crystal Baron was when somebody dives him, Mortar's right on top of himself. So
Stay in melee range. Stay in
like Kensei drives onto Baron, there's going to be Mortars just raining down on his head. So there is a chance there.
We actually saw from PT Lamb tweeting before this yesterday. He was just saying that they're excited to be in the semi-final right now. They're excited to have an opportunity to make it to that grand final. We'll see if they're going to be able to. They've got PT Lamb's Baron. They have a damn good composition. So does Qlash though. It's time to kick off our second semi-final. We're going to be discovering who goes to the grand final, who's going to be fighting for that #1 spot. Passing it once again to FlashX and Humanist for Qlash against Rising Lotus.
We are on the rise for our second series of the day as Qlash takes on Rising Lotus. Couple powerhouse teams with some very strong compositions as well. My name's Humanist. I'm joined by FlashX and Flash. Do we have first blood right off the bat? Yes, we do.
Big yikes to Zone. That's not how you want to start things off, Qlash. Putting themselves on the back foot, not the kind of start they wanted. Rising Lotus not looking like they're willing to back down and give it over for free. We saw a huge upset. Slide taking down Queso in game 1. Rising Lotus. That's got to just be a mental boost, like realizing and understanding that as the underdogs in this situation, you can do it. PT Lamb, he is trying to write his name in the history books on the CP Baron, but Oswald in the mid lane in a little bit of trouble.
Oswald will live through that as Leon booting up into the jungle of Rising Lotus. Now, Rising Lotus was able to take the weapon trend away in the bottom half of the map, in fact, that full jungle. But both crystal buffs do go over to Qlash. Maybe if we don't have an engagement, you can talk about your preference, and is that a win for either team there?
I think it's got to be a win to Qlash. I mean, trading over that part of the jungle is fine, but Qlash also able to secure the weapon power treant of Rising Lotus as well. First blood, even though it was given up, it is going to be Qlash sitting on a little bit of a gold lead. Interesting to see this Maleen taking mid lane instead of Samuel. I think traditionally in North America, you have Samuel in the mid lane and Maleen in jungle. This is definitely just a preference coming out of Qlash. They've made some interesting decisions this summer open already, but that has worked out very well for them thus far. But Agony and I'm the Doom gonna start pressuring this bot lane, and that is a duo that if I was Kieran on this Arden, I would not want to go up against.
I mean, you talk about them both together. That's an incredibly scary thing. Just for me, I'm excited to have I'm the Doom on this Kinsey. It's like playmaker, a player on the playmaker hero. Kieran does try to get in a contest, not gonna find anything there. And I'm the Doom, like, as this guy ramps up, he is the kind of player who will jump into 3 or 4 heroes and just slice and dice all over them.
Yeah, Qlash looking to be a little bit of aggressive right here. Leon on this flicker, frontlining for his team, starting to fall a little bit low though.
Getting nice, or absorbing a lot of damage. He dips behind the Crystal Treant, so using it to body block. I'm the Doom is in with the Lotus Strike. We'll be able to find the kill there. Now this jungle goes over to Qlash, and Qlash on the board. The game is now 1-1.
Oswald opting for those tier 2 boots very early on. I don't know if that's the right call. It leaves him open to be very squishy. I think on the back of that, he has even more interesting itemization of the double O-cart into the double light shield. On this Turnwalker, you have to be able to frontline and you have to be able to land your chains.
Leon just moved in with a Fairy Dust, takes that Gold Oak away from Rising Lotus. I can't believe my eyes. Now Oswald hung out to dry. He'll drop as the second kill of the game comes through here. Our second kill for Qlash of the game will come through. They're going to take the weapon treant as well. Rising Lotus incredibly low. Mr. K. Cole super low. That will be able to take the healing camp there. But you can feel like Qlash definitely have a lot of momentum building up.
Yeah, they're definitely in a great spot to control the tempo. Samuel so strong in these early game engagements, making it work to his advantage. Oswald has got to start landing some chains. Joey Skaggs just being completely dove under turret, deleted and sent back to base. And on top of that, he's going to lose quite a bit of CS. And that's something that he's going to probably want to have back.
Yeah, I've seen minions put up more of a fight than that Vox did there, but there was really nowhere to go. He was rounded up, clean call from Qlash, and they just put him down.
Put him down, rotate around, find some more jungle, keep the pressure up. I'm the Doom, looking really good on this Kensei. He's got a kill underneath his belt. His CS is also looking very, very strong, highest in the game at the moment. And if Kensei is left unattended and if he is able to just free farm, he is going to be a monster later on in this game.
Oswald hanging out in the brush, doesn't realize there is vision there. He's being slowed up. Leon does a great job to kind of control this Churnwalker. And the Malice and Verdict, the Verdict won't connect. Malice did, and that would have been a kill onto the Churnwalker. Once again, Qlash will take the Crystal Treant. They'll take the back double camp as well. Rising Lotus kind of zoning just men out towards the top river there, but nothing actually comes of this. It just feels like Rising Lotus, maybe just the plan is buy time for the CP Baron. I don't know if it's the right plan, but that's what it feels like.
You know, PT Lamb has certainly made this CP Baron work. Leon, he's surely going to fall. Just man able to rotate out. The double utility invade, I don't know if that's the look you want to look for, but Qlash looking to continue the aggression.
But Disowned has moved in. Disowned has great positioning. A lot of damage onto 3. PT Lamb also forced back to jump in. I'm the Doom. Repositions with the Kinsho. He will be able to stay alive. That was so much damage coming out between Agony and between Disowned and I'm the Doom there. You got to feel so threatened like the moment they're in range to jump you.
Despite kills being even, Qlash extending the lead in their favor. Ghost Wing online. Qlash looking for it immediately. All of their carries are just sitting in really good spots. All their deaths have gone over to more of their utility style heroes. Baron not going to be level 6. He's not going to be able to find the ion cannon for the steel. Qlash picking up this Ghost Wing buff, and really in traditional 5v5 fashion, I think that they've had some of the best shot calling and rotations to force these objectives. They don't hesitate for 1 second to go straight in this bot lane, start dropping turrets. I actually would like to see them just keep going. I think that Rising Lotus is going to look to equalize that in the top lane, but without the Ghost Wing buff, I'm not sure how effective that's going to be.
Yeah, you can tell, like, this is just trying to answer on the other side of the map. Rising Lotus, though, they're not in as good of position. Honestly, they don't shove as fast, but it will be tied up T1 for T1 at this point as Qlash drops in the jungle to take the Crystal Tree, and Kieran trying to buy some time while his equivalent Just Man on the other side of the map trying to buy time for his team. And this will be I'm the Doom moving up. He has a weapon buff and spell sword. Let's see if they want to make the jump here. Mooncloak in, it's the jump. 2 versus 4. Just Man winds up, won't find the Holy Nova, but I'm the Doom. He jumps in. Joey Skaggs torn apart. Slice and dice. I'm the Doom. We'll find PT Lamb as well. He's on target. They're going to lose their Tony as well. Qlash just rips on through Rising Lotus, the falling Lotus indeed.
Forcing team fights, forcing objectives when you have this Ghost Wing buff is so important, and Qlash is doing it so well. Over a 4k gold lead now. They're looking for more. Oswald trying to contest a little bit. I don't know if that's going to work out too well for him, though.
I mean, you're the Turnwalker legend, right?
I do what I can. He went for Crucible first. I don't know if that's necessarily the move. The only thing you're going to want to be blocking is the Sam Sleep. And when you can just simply walk out of it, Crucible not going to be enough to save your life. And in turn, he's going to lose his life.
Yeah, it's a bummer. Boot's going to be on cooldown as well when he respawns. Feels like quite the hole that Rising Lotus are digging for themselves here. I don't know. I guess a little bit digging themselves and Qlash also helping them out.
Maybe shaking off some early game nerves. They looked good in these first rotations, but they have got to step it up big time because Qlash definitely starting to extend their lead quite a bit. And if Rising Lotus doesn't step it up very soon, the hole is going to be too deep for them to be able to dig themselves out of.
One of the biggest weak spots as I'm looking at this lineup is this Vox. I don't know, like he's gonna get his breaking point up eventually here, right? But every single time when they jump on him, he's burst down so fast. Like he won't be able to actually heal up or live long enough to get those breaking point stacks up is what it feels like. Oswald, level 5, moving in, trying to contest the Crystal Tree one more time. He will be dying here? No, stays alive. In fact, this might even be turned around as Rising Lotus able to save their buddy, bail Oswald out of a bad situation. Just Man was quite low, but with the heal, will keep himself alive. Mooncloak out of Qlash. Interesting call here. Maybe they move in looking for the engage. Nobody really revealing themselves just yet. And speaking of revealed, there's a scout cam. So Qlash have revealed that they were making that aggressive play. Once again, they just move over to the Crystal Treant, just taking objective base plays. Nothing too aggressive.
Nothing lost, nothing gamed. Qlash not feeling confident enough to just go straight for that Ghost Wing. That's kind of what I was expecting them to do, but they just want to keep pressure in Rising Lotus's jungle. Like you said, Vox is still very squishy. PT Lamb, though, being caught a little bit out of position.
Gauntlet comes out super defensively as Joey Skaggs gets melted right off the bat. Also kind of unfortunate, talked about his build before, but he had breaking point money before that engagement even happened, so he has to buy it upon death there. Not the end of the world, but it's just like those small inefficiencies.
And this is going to be the opportunity that Qlash doesn't even hesitate to capitalize, going straight for that Ghost Wing. We saw them put in so much work with that Ghost Wing buff the first time around. I expect a lot of the same coming out for Ghost Wing buff number 2. They have a bit of a way pushing bot lane, but that PT Lamb has been so good at making sure he prevents these pushes. But when you're dead, when you're caught out of position, when Maline has that burst damage, it's not even gonna matter.
It's interesting. Triple scout cam down here in this brush where the zone is lurking around, just making sure There will be no surprises.
That is not how you want to use your scout cams at all. Super, super inefficient, especially when you're going against a flicker. You can't afford to have inefficient plays like that. Those need to be spread out, or Mooncloak can be incredibly, incredibly punishing. Black Claw coming up in 5 seconds. Qlash heading towards it immediately. They have the Ghost Wing buff. They're starting to pick up some of these infusions. Rising Lotus needs to have a really nice steal right here. Perhaps Baron finds it with his ion cannon. Will be interesting to see. Maybe Qlash just looks for the bait. They're gonna Mooncloak, try and find an engage.
Well, they have sure found Rising Lotus. They jump in, immediately delete Joey Skaggs. Now looking for more. It's Oswald next. A nice trespass over the wall, but I'm the Doom is there. He won't find the kill, but they will take the Gold Oak and easy drop back to go ahead and secure Blacklaw if they want to. PT Lamb, you can tell from where he is on this map and what he's continuing to do is like, dude, I'm actually not ready to fight.
Not ready to fight. Fortunately, Rising Lotus has the scout cam on that Black Claw, the ion cannon. He has the information he needs to look for his steal.
Drop it! Drop it! Oh, that was pretty close, Flash, I gotta say. And I'm the Doom on the front line for his team. Starting to get a pretty good chunk damage down onto Rising Lotus. Rising Lotus not really having any of it. They're like, dude, we're just back. Like, we're not trading. We're not going to find the kill here. They want to defend, but it almost feels like there's no way to do it, especially without that Baron being there.
Oswald, he has an additional reflex block on top of his Crucible. I don't know if that's the move. Qlash,
and he still got stunned! He just still got stunned as he talked about the double block. Oh, Flash, I don't know if it was the caster curse or not, but PT Lamb turns around. Nice splash damage coming out of the CP Baron. Strongest Baron build that we have seen thus far in the VPL Summer Open. Mr. Keiko stays alive. It's all calculated. The big pro plays from Keiko. Agony forced back on low health disowned as well. Qlash kind of debating Rising Lotus back, but they're not going to have any of it. They've got a dragon in their base, and that is priority numero uno.
Priority numero uno. Joey Skaggs, PT Lamb, gonna go share some of the gold from this massive top wave. Qlash able to rotate out, no one losing their life, dealing away a lot of the jungle of Rising Lotus. There's still a few scraps left to be had if they wander out far enough to find them. Qlash, though, certainly controlling the momentum at this point. They can set the tempo. Ghost Wing online yet again. They recall, they reset, they get some more big items underneath their belts, and Leon going straight for this Ghost Wing is disowned. Make sure that Rising Lotus takes at least some damage if they want to contest.
PT Lamb, it feels like, you know, his positioning is good. He's applying the abilities where he needs to apply them, but it just doesn't have enough item progression right now. At least that's what it kind of feels like from my perspective.
There is a lot of CP damage on the side of Qlash. Oswald finishing that Aegis, which is really going to help mitigate a lot of that damage. Qlash looking for the Mooncloak, sitting still in this bush, waiting, seeing if I'm the Doom is engaged upon. Instead, they're just going to pop it. They're going to go out. They're going to be hungry. They're going to look for some kills. Oswald needs to find some chains in combination with PT Lamb. They want to be able to turn this game around.
Karen didn't even know how dangerous of a predicament he was potentially going to get himself into. Once again, Just Man's End Deep winds up for the Holy Nova. It won't connect. Gauntlet comes on down from Kieran here. Was that actually canceled off, or did he just force back? PT Lamb stays alive. One of the most important things that they need to achieve in this fight, and they've done it this far. So it's a bend don't break situation. Just Man, oh, I thought the turret was going to attack him one more time. It will switch over to Agony, dropping low on the back of this fight. Ion Cannon up in 15 seconds. Rising Lotus, I think pull the trigger and go. Get some. Go get some.
They don't know that Qlash is so split right now. Their turret is in trouble in this top lane. I'm the Doom, and Just Man making sure it doesn't fall. It's going to allow a little bit of room for Rising Lotus to take a little bit of a breather. Disowned in a little bit of trouble. The taunt.
Somebody back him up, Mr. Keiko, by himself up there, just like, team, hello. Let's make a play.
Yeah, Mr. K Cool doing what he can to try and make a play. Not gonna happen today. He's got the Rook's Decree. He's got the Pulse Weave. He's got a lot of utility for his team. If he can find the right bada boom, preferably on Agony, to just bounce him right back into his team, that's the kind of play that he needs to find to turn this around. Blackclaw gonna be spawning again here in less than 10 seconds in Rising Lotus. This is gonna be one of the most important engagements of the game. They're down 10k gold at this point. Mooncloak is online. They need to make sure they have scout cams down to be able to see it coming in. They have a couple. Qlash playing the patience game, seeing if Rising Lotus will present themselves in an unfavorable position.
They might just present themselves on a silver platter if they're not careful here. PT Lamb starting to pour it out. His team cannot be engaged upon while he is not there. That's just like something that cannot happen right now. Mooncloak. This will be Qlash dropping back over to Blackclaw. Now, there was a vision forward for Rising Lotus? No, not really. They saw the Mooncloak going backwards. They have to assume that this is happening. Cool. It's all about this bada boom. As you mentioned, Flash, I think that was a great call. Oswald engaged upon. He gets some nice hook and chains out to start this fight off. Come on, Baron, where you at? PT Lamb gets in there. Nice Porcupine Mortars coming down. They take hints. They started off. This is the perfect fight so far for Rising Lotus. Oswald with the trespass. Qlash are melting. Rising Lotus haven't lost anybody. It's a triple kill for PT Lamb on the CB Baron. Agony in the drifting dark, fading away like Jordan in its prime, but it won't be enough to find a return to go. Mr. Keiko moving in. They find Disowned. Disowned. He will be melted down. Rising Lotus are doing it. Bada boom, but it's the wrong way. We'll forgive you, K-Cool, because the rest of the fight was pretty spectacular.
Wow, Rising for sure with how sparse split PT Lamb was from the start of the fight that they were going to be in a lot of trouble. They were able to pick up that kill onto Kensei, which was huge. The fact that Kensei doesn't have a slumbering husk at this point is astounding. He needs it to make sure he can survive through this Baron's burst damage, because after he bursts you, he does not have a lot left in the tank to be able to put it up. He's gonna be able to secure that, or who did? Leon on Flicker actually able to secure that crystal buff.
Able to secure that crystal buff. Nice job. Once again, it's these small things that are gonna add up. I mean, let's make this very clear. Rising Lotus are in a hole, but they made that god play. They need to make another one right now as Qlash pull the trigger. They're aggressive. They're mad about losing that last fight, but PT Lamb stays alive. The splash damage is coming out. Joey Skaggs stacking up his breaking point. A trespass stuns onto two. They'll take down Grace to start the fight. Leon looks like he'll be next. Rising Lotus are doing it right now. Flash, Twitch chat, lose your minds. Rising Lotus, if they play like this, they might be meeting Sly in the finals. Jump forward, bada boom, back, Agony's down. It's 10-10. We're 20 minutes in. Blackclaw still alive. And Rising Lotus rising to the occasion as the ion cannon drops down. The first base turret has dropped. 26 seconds for Agony, 6 seconds for Justman to come up, 10 for Leon. The armory is down. Do they go in and close this game out, or do they back up? They're going to play this patiently and get back. They don't want to lose anyone else. I'm the Doom. You're playing with fire, buddy. More like playing with Rising Lotus, which feels quite dangerous. Two-man taunt on K-Cole. The root comes out onto Oswald. This is a dangerous situation. Rising Lotus, what are you doing? You're hanging around a little too long. K-Cole, leave him for dead, team. Leave him for dead. PT Lamb jump jets back. Rising Lotus will be able to get away with only K-Cole going down. Back-to-back legendary fights for the Lotus.
Lotus looking super clean. This is the Baron that PT Lamb is making himself known for. Unfortunately, Mr. K Cool being taken down on this Tony is going to be what should be a free Ghost Wing going over to Qlash, unless PT Lamb can find a really nice ion cannon to steal it away. But there's a lot of very squishy, low health heroes. He's not going to find it, unfortunately. I'm the Doom and Qlash need to be very, very careful and start taking the damage of Riding Lotus very seriously. We need to see Justman on this Grace block the trespass from Churnwalker. If he's able to do that, I really see things turning in the favor of Qlash. But last team fight, Oswald had a huge trespass that really opened up this game completely for Rising Lotus. And even though Qlash still has a pretty sizable gold lead, it is Rising Lotus hitting a lot of these huge item power spikes. I mean, we see Vox almost up to that full build. That's exactly where they want to be right now.
Oswald, hook and chains out. Qlash know exactly where Rising Lotus are positioned, and the reverse is true as well. I think it's important to mention, like you said, Joey Skaggs is at the point where he can have a significant impact, which is scary, because if you're Qlash, you have to feel like we need to take this Baron down in the beginning of the fight. If that's the case, if you don't take him down immediately, you have this Vox stacking up against you. And while you put Joey Skaggs down for the whole early game into mid game, this guy is ready to go.
I think one of the most underrated elements of this Crystal Power Baron is his ability to constantly deal with split pushing lanes. Qlash had a huge wave in the bottom lane pushing. Baron from across the map dropped the ion cannon and said, nope, your lane is going to just be equal to ours. The Mooncloak coming out. Unfortunately, Qlash, they're not going to find anyone right here because Rising Lotus is in the other side of the jungle. Baron, though, not going to be able to secure his crystal buff. Feels bad, man, because if PT Lamp picks up a crystal buff, his damage is going to be very hard for Qlash to try and deal with.
And once again, just as you mentioned, he throws that ion cannon down into the bottom lane, stalling out that wave from moving forward. I think that's such a great thing to point out. As you mentioned, like just the lane control, it means that you never have to worry about splitting someone apart. Splitting apart right now, it would be Leon splitting apart Rising Lotus. Oswald's on the front of the fight. Is he going to get a trespass off into this fight? He stays alive. They turn it around. He does. Well, the trespass comes through, but wasn't really the stun they were looking for. Doesn't matter as they hide within the walls of that gauntlet. PT Lamb jump jetting backward. I'm the Doom's coming around the backside though. Sneaky plays. Second Mooncloak here in the last minute. They'll move in. They're onto PT Lamb. PT Lamb's got to jump jet back one more time. Throw the Porcupine Mortars out while kiting backwards, but I'm the Doom is there. He's got the Lotus Strike. He's got the kill. PT Lamb's down. This might be the fight that Qlash was looking for, but now Joey Skaggs, he's collapsed upon. This is the fight that they were looking for. Double kill actually going to Leon. They'll lose 3K cools down. Qlash take the fight that they needed. Rising Lotus will be on the back foot, and is this game? It sure looks like it could be.
It should be game right here, assuming Qlash executes how they should. They are gonna go and look straight for this Vanny Crystal. Qlash almost throwing away their lead. They are going to turn it up here when it matters most and close this game out. And yeah, taking a 1-0 lead over Rising Lotus here in game number 1.
All right, well, that'll be Qlash up 1-0 early on in this series. Rising Lotus with a couple of just amazing comeback fights down over 10K here in the late game. I'm excited to see what can happen in game 2, but to break this one down, let's throw it back over to the analyst desk.
Oh my goodness, Qlash take the game in the end, but that was as close as they come. And honestly, the PT Lamb CP Baron hype train has well and truly left the station. Like, there is no denying now that PT Lamb is a god when it comes to CP Baron.
Yeah, absolutely incredible. I mean, that last team fight, if he just jump jets into a better location, this could be a very different game. They could end up winning that team fight, winning the game. But really great job by Qlash to recognize the moment he was out of position, they all collapsed and went in for that kill, knowing that that was the kill that they needed to pick up.
Yeah, and I'm the Doom on Kensei as well. Like, his play on that hero is immaculate. Every single game. I think that's the 3rd time we've seen it in VPL, which at that point I'm like, how did it get through the bans 3 times? But I'm the Doom specifically always dominates on Kensei and showing why in this game.
Yeah, and it's just really, again, the early game lead that the Qlash built up kind of almost just makes the comeback from Rising Lotus that much more impressive.
Yeah.
But Qlash able to close it out in the end, and Leon getting the triple kill on Flicker to finish off the game. Really impressive stuff from them.
Yeah, let's have a bit of a recap of how we got to this point, how these two teams are in the semifinals with our Rockstar Rewind, starting off with Qlash. These guys, across the rest of the tournament, have just looked dominant. There has been no one that even gave them a struggle so far.
Yeah, they have been absolutely cleaning house. I mean, again, most of these teams have been just dominant up until this point. And as you see, this road to the semifinals that they've had, taking down Great Invoxus and then Cyclone as well. You know, Cyclone had a little bit of hype behind them, but Qlash just absolutely shut the door on them. So really great stuff coming out of them. But we're also going to take a look at Rising Lotus and their Rockstar Rewind.
Yeah, absolutely. And Rising Lotus, this was a series that they were the underdog and no one was expecting. They were behind in gold and then they managed to kite it away. Beautiful corners, beautiful team play, keeping PT Lamb alive on the CP Baron. That's exactly what we've just seen in game number 1 as well of this series. Not been quite enough though against the likes of Qlash. You can see them managing to beat out Team GG and then finishing it up with Fiery Tail Sports as well.
Yeah, again, their path to the semifinals has been very, probably one of the more difficult paths because the teams that they beat were actually stronger looking than I think any other team's road to get here. I mean, we saw them, you know, the Divine Vendetta took down Historic, who looked incredibly good in their play-in game, and that was who they had to beat. So I think their path has actually been one of the harder paths for any of these teams to get here.
Yeah, absolutely. And Rising Lotus, honestly, I want this to go to 3 games. I want them to be able to take this next game, but I'm curious if Baron gets through the draft. Because let's bear in mind, Qlash, game 1, they didn't ban power picks, right? They avoided the power pick ban so that they could allow things through. If you're throwing away bans anyway, why not go for the target ban? Baron isn't something that Qlash is known for themselves. Shut out that opportunity, and maybe you just completely shut down Rising Lotus.
I mean, they do have some Baron players in their roster. You know, Hell's Devil is a very well-known Baron player. Obviously, he's not in the starting lineup right now, but it's definitely, they know the strengths of this hero. So it is very much a potential.
Let's take a look at the suggested bans on the side of Qlash. I wonder who they're going to ban away here. I'm curious to see how this one does pan out. Yeah, you're right, Hell's Devil does play Baron, but Hell's Devil not going to be playing in this series. And honestly, even if you do play Baron, like almost all of Rising Lotus's wins have been with Baron. So just take that off the board. Like, and you
They could
immediately
even potentially pick it up for themselves if they really want to, because I don't think this Baron is going to get first picked from the side of Rising Lotus, but we'll see where the priorities are going to lie. They do, you know, see a couple of flicker hovers there, so we could potentially see this flicker get targeted away as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Flicker could be the option. Baron is going to be target banned in the end. Honestly, Qlash is kind of the only team in both regions that is brave enough to use their bans against an opponent. Either throw them away or target ban specifically. We see that so little. Everyone else pretty much just bans the power picks. Does mean that Kensei has made it through because Rising Lotus decided not to ban anything, but they didn't pick up the Kensei, and that's an instant lock for Qlash. Why? Why do you not pick the Kensei?
Or at least ban it. Like, you had a ban. You had a second ban. Ban Kensei away. I don't understand why they let this through. I mean, you even if you accidentally left it through, if you meant to ban something but you just didn't hit it in time, at least pick it then. Like, there's something's got to give there.
Yeah, I mean, Churnwalker open as well. That's likely going to be locked in here. Very strong pick, but I mean, I don't want to get too far ahead. This game is not unwinnable. Kensei is not an automatic win.
I mean, they almost won against Kensei last game.
Is terrifying.
They did almost win against Kensei last game, but that was, again, with the CP Baron that has been taken away from them now.
If you're going to just... The issue is they left a ban open with Kensei available. If you're not planning on playing Kensei, why leave him open? Just why? It doesn't make any sense. Either way, we are going to see the Grace locked in. We know that duo is just terrifying. You use that Divine Intervention on Kensei as he dives onto the back line. However, when you look at Rising Lotus's lineup right now, Churnwalker, Catherine, and Arnon, they have a good amount that can deal with the Kensei.
Yeah, they have a lot of those stuns, a lot of that strong front line. I could even potentially see that if they decide to go for 4 utility tankies and 1 hard carry, like that full-on protected carry, that is something that I could see them do. They are going to go ahead and pick up, well, that's a pretty strong carry to grab.
Yeah, I mean, Kinetic being picked up as the 4th pick on the A side, though, you very rarely see them get through this far through the draft, but when the bans are so skewed comparatively to what's meta, you are going to see some interesting drafts here. Scarf as well. going to be locked on in. And realistically, there's not that much that can body block on the side of Qlash right now. Scarf, you know, can be thwarted pretty heavily by things like the Fin, things like the Flicker as well. But obviously, nothing locked in right now. We could see something like that though.
Grace is probably the best bet right now, but Lance, if you want someone who can body block,
He's pretty good at
there's
that.
one of your best options in the game. So Qlash doing a really good job of saying, okay, this is what you're trying to do. Let's go ahead and pick up something that we know can play very well into that. This game is going to rely so heavily on this kinetic for the side of Rising Lotus. If they want to have a chance of winning this one, this kinetic needs to have a phenomenal game.
Yeah, absolutely. We're going to see a different side of Rising Lotus here, or we have to if they're going to take this game. Let's take a quick look at our top 5 rankings, though, coming on into this weekend for elimination participation. How many of the eliminations your team gets, you're involved in? Rising Lotus dominate this scoreboard. They are a unit. They are absolutely one as a group. We saw that in their Rockstar replay. We saw that in game number 1 of this series, and I expect that to continue into game number 2.
Yeah, and a lot of that is just how they play this game. You know, PT Lamb with the CP Baron, you're not going to be 1v1ing anybody with a CP Baron, so it's all about their team fighting.
Absolutely. It's time to jump into game number 2. This could be the last semi-final matchup. This could be deciding our finalists. It's Qlash against Rising Lotus to make it to the finals. Let me pass it back to Humanist and Flash.
Here we go. Qlash one game away from moving on to the VPL Summer Open Finals. And Rising Lotus will try their best to take this game, push us to game 3, but I'm the Doom right off the bat, taking a lot of damage. He'll be able to barely squirt out of that one, keeping himself alive. The turnaround is there from Qlash. Oswald dropping low, Kieran as well. In fact, they're split apart, and it's going to be a little ring around the rosy through the jungle here. Kieran probably just looking to buy as much time as, maybe just waste as much time as possible out of the Qlash heroes.
That was a huge impale by Leon to save the life of I'm the Doom Protector contract. That's exactly why so many captains are building it. That barrier was critical in keeping him alive. What certainly looked like first blood in the hands of Rising Lotus has now gone over to Qlash. We saw Sly be able to turn things around when the momentum was against them, against Queso. But Rising Lotus losing that first blood has got to take some wind out of their sails. Qlash has got to be feeling super good. They secure all of their jungle, and we're also going to see PT Lamb on something other than CP Baron. Surely Rising Lotus has prepared for this moment, for someone to just ban away the Crystal Power Baron, which Qlash did. I actually really do like that ban coming out of them, but yeah, just a lot of back and forth items starting off this game number 2.
Yeah, and man, as Munchables and Bacon said as well, like I was surprised that Kensei is allowed to go through. It felt like it was doing a lot of work for Qlash last game.
Agony played it so well. I think the biggest reason why it went through was the fact that Rising Lotus knew they were going to be able to secure the kinetic on the back end of that. I think a lot of that just comes down to a skill matchup. It's definitely a parental thing. I've seen some North American teams prioritize kinetic. I've seen other teams prioritize Kensei. So just a preference team, and I think both these teams, if you do have a lot of confidence in your mechanical abilities, have to be comfortable with it.
We'll see. I don't know. I'm not as comfortable with the kinetic versus Kensei here, specifically because Joey Skaggs, typically, like every time I've seen him play, he doesn't have a good early mid game. He's always on. The only time I've seen him come back is on the Vox when he gets into that like 2-item plus 1 defense situation where he can actually get a couple breaking point stacks and turn around to fight. It just when, especially with the kinetic, it's felt pretty flat in the past. Qlash. Kind of winding up, chasing Oswald here. The Impale, where's the follow-up? Do they have it? Leon's taking a lot of damage. They will be able to get themselves back. A sticky situation there, but now dropping back. Crystal Treant should be theirs, and it is indeed.
Ooh, that damage coming out of Joey Skaggs with the weapon buff. Leon barely making it out of there with just a sliver of health. Qlash are going to successfully find the invade and secure that Crystal Treant, which they're definitely feeling good about. The gold, though, still very, very even despite giving up that first blood. PT Lamb starting to ramp up a little bit on Scarf. He has 2 crystal bits and the energy battery. They're going to look for a counter invade into Qlash's jungle. Qlash, though, realizing this and rotating over.
I like the movement, but you gotta be careful. Disowned with a perfect drifting dark malice inverted combos. That damage was splashed around everywhere. Oswald with a pullback, trying to buy some time. Kieran looks like he might go down to agony here. And actually, that's gonna be Oswald dropping 3-0 now over for Qlash. Mr. K-Cool almost finding I'm the Doom. But now with the Dragon Blood contract procced off and the Impale, he's down. Plus, Arden tried to save him, so good night, Kieran. Sweet Prince, 5-0, 4.5 minutes in. This game is all Qlash.
Leon is playing out of his mind on this lance right now. 4-0 in 1. Use all his abilities to maximum capacity. Finding great Githian wall stuns is Rising Lotus positions incorrectly against some of these walls. The Impales, I don't think he's missed yet, even though we're just 5 minutes in. Having a good lance player who can consistently land those abilities, super important. Disowned sitting on double buffs. Spellfire at 5 minutes in, that is going to hurt. And Qlash going to look to invade and steal away this Crystal Treant.
Right, you got to give credit over to Leon for landing those Impales, but at the same time, like Rising Lotus kind of telegraphing exactly where their positioning was going to be. They committed onto that weapon Treant. Now, Oswald taking a lot of damage. There's 2 fights on this front. Qlash will drop back as Oswald's incredibly low. PT Lamb was trying to back him up, but he's like, buddy, I'm a Scarf. I really can't do much. We're 5.5 minutes in here. You're taking way too much damage, and all they can do is watch into horror as Oswald gets taken down. They'll find themselves down 6-0. Crystal Treant has spawned in their jungle. Qlash immediately there. They'll pull it back towards the Black Claw pit. I like it. Perfect positioning. Nice strategy. And right now, they're just getting it done.
Getting it done indeed. The pain train has showed up to the station. Qlash has climbed aboard 6-0 at 6 minutes in. Things starting to look very bleak for Rising Lotus. Justman finding the triple stun. I think Rising Lotus starting to fall apart.
Yeah. Disowned with the double kill. Rising Lotus, they felt like, hey, we got this small opportunity, and they did have a small opportunity. Justman really kind of delayed that Crystal Treant take, allowed just enough time for Disowned to get there, and they're able to capitalize on it. That's a nice team play. Now, Leon, Githian wall back, will keep Joey Skaggs and Mr. Keiko in dangerous position. Justman really not taking much damage here from the kinetic just yet. Another Githian wall, not finding the stun, but buying time for Disowned to get into position. I am the Doom as well. Oh, nice damage coming out of the Gwen. They won't find the kill. He might wrap around. No, I'm the Doom's gonna go ahead and move back on towards mid.
The call to go to Ghostwing has been made as Leon starts to head towards it. Qlash controlling top of they're not going to look for Ghostwing just yet. They want to steal up some of the jungle. Agony, though.
Agony. Lotus striking in. He's got the damage. Takes 2. 2 for the price of 1 here. Qlash up 10-0, 7 minutes in. And it looks like they're going to lose the Trendwalker as well. One more. Oswald dodges the Malice. Verdict doesn't have the range. That's a nice small play there.
So much early game damage coming out of Qlash. I'm the Doom has enough gold to finish his Sorrow Blade, so that Gwen is going to be packing quite the punch. Leon continues to impress on these lands as he's landing all of his abilities, making sure Rising Lotus is unable to contest, dodging out the Spitfire. He might be in a little bit of trouble, though.
Oblivion puts 1 to sleep. Leon stays alive, quite healthy. Githian wall back with the gauntlets down. PT Lamb repositions. Was that a 4-man? Holy what the nuts Nova out of Justman? I like it, man. Disowned. He'll go ahead and kite back. He's got the Malice and Verdicts landing quite well. Kinetic. Can't handle the pressure. He's down. Oswald on the Trendwalker trying to tank up all that damage. It won't be enough. As Qlash take 2 down when Rising Lotus felt like they had the superior positioning.
12-0. This is starting to look very one-sided. You don't have a hero like CP Baron who has a ton of late game scaling coming out of Rising Lotus this game. Surely Rising Lotus is not going to be able to turn this around if they don't get themselves on their feet very quickly. Qlash, just great positioning, great rotations. They're playing very, very well coordinated. They want to secure this bottom lane turret for themselves.
And I don't think there's anything to stop them as they just come down like a runaway train. That turret's gone. They can look for more if they want. They have this buff. Is it a ward tread activated there? They're not going to make the call to go in. Don't want to fight under the turret just yet unless they get the stun. Stun into the Impale. Impale blocked off. Just Man zoning on the back. Holy Nova connects onto Keiko as Oswald drops to his knees. Leon's quite low, but doesn't matter. There's no damage coming out of Rising Lotus.
Rising Lotus just so far behind at this point. You do have Kieran in this top lane. He's actually going to be able to secure 2 of these top lane turrets for his team, which is great. I mean, if anything's going to be a little bit of a morale booster, it's going to be that. Where he is going to go back in. Yeah, at this point,
hang around for this. Oh, is he going to get trolled out here? Oh, no. Okay, he will get it. That's actually like a very efficient trade for how far they are behind and what was taken in bottom.
Absolutely agree. I'm glad he decided to go back in and secure it. I mean, his team has given up 13 kills at this point. One more, not gonna hurt them too much. Qlash, though, gonna look to stagger this kill. Allowed a little bit more time for Ghostwing to come back online. Kieran, though, wasting as much time as possible.
Oh, man. Now we're playing some Vainglory.
Vainglory, indeed. Qlash, can they be stopped? Oswald by himself in the mid lane? Question mark. What are you doing there, my friend? That is not at all where you want to be.
Let's just make a hashtag out of that one, Flash. I think you're on to something there. Oswald with the epic trespass, so to speak. Will reposition, stays alive.
Using war treads and trespass to get out of that definitely seems like quite a bit of a waste. To me, Mr. K Cool doing what he can to defend this turret as Kieran rotates up, but Agony and I'm the Doom. That is a lot of damage, causing a lot of agony to Rising Lotus as they secure yet another turret for Qlash.
2 breaking points building up there. Agony is going to just Lotus strike his way forward and out of that situation. It's hard to lock this Kinsey down.
He's such a mobile melee hero that it need a lot of crowd control. They do have the Merciless Pursuit on the Catherine, but outside of that, they don't have very much. There's a few other tools in the kit. Qlash already ready to secure this Ghostwing, wasting no time. This might be the contest that Rising Lotus should look for, as the Mortal Wounds certainly is very effective. Scarf, though, PT Lamb doesn't want any part of it. Qlash war treadsing back in.
Looks like Leon attempting to bait Rising Lotus into a bad position where they could capitalize on it. Once again, Oswald using Trespass to have a single solitary escape out. I mean, he's not dropping down, but that's a big team fight ability. And Ghostwing easily captured up by Qlash, up 14-0, 12 minutes in. Now, worth advantage is it's not a huge deal. I mean, Rising Lotus have been able to continuously kind of farm lanes and get a little bit out of the map, but they're obviously on the back foot.
On the back foot, certainly. Qlash looking to secure Black Claw and continue their momentum on the front foot, forcing Rising Lotus to go backwards. Their team looking so disorganized, uncoordinated at this point. Qlash.
This is bold. Super bold that they would even be in that position. Like, they're not as a team. Why is Joey Skaggs bottom? What's the call there?
He's just trying to get his items. He's so far behind both, or really all of the carries on the side of Qlash at this point, that you do need to try and find some farm. Qlash with a little bit of a split push, forcing Rising Lotus to deal with this Black Claw in the mid lane. They're going to commit super hard to top, popping the war treads. This base turret falling incredibly fast. Leon has either... It looks like Leon has disconnected. No, he is back. He is moving. Gonna regroup with the rest of his team right here as Qlash look to take the first armory of the game.
This is awful to watch. I mean, Joey Skaggs doesn't even push fast. He's still down in that bottom lane. Dragon's Breath comes out, but it's not going to do anything. They lose Oswald. Hashtag, where's my kinetic? Rising Lotus are dropping like flies in their own base. Damage is coming out onto the Vein Crystal. Mr. Cake was fallen. Now Joey Skaggs reappears. I don't know if he's really picked up any significant items that are going to turn the tide in this fight, and it sure doesn't look like it. At the 14-minute mark here, Qlash looking to close out game 2, and they have done it. They'll be moving on to the VPL Summer Open Finals, where they will go up against Sly, which would be an epic battle there. But GG. Rising Lotus put up a great fight in game 1. Game 2 felt like it was all Qlash. There wasn't even a hope. No CP Baron.